Well, our reporter Samkele Maseko was at the briefing where Mahumapelo announced his decision. Was it resignation or was it retirement, early retirement? Well, I saw the Secretary General of the ANC standing up and say, well, after all that, here's what it is. Was he irritated or was he simply setting the record straight?
Look, all we can say is that you could see the frustration in both SGA's Makashule's face and now former Premier of the Northwest, Supra Mahumapelo, who's basically placed himself on early retirement as Premier of the Northwest, but officially from the ANC Secretary General, because that's where the buck stops, who's basically the CEO or the engine of the ANC. He says that he won't go with all the preambles. This is basically a resignation by the Premier of the Northwest, Supra Mahumapelo, who's now the former Premier of the Northwest, which basically means that the retirement he speaks about is null and void, and that the official word is that he is resigning as the Premier of the Northwest. Jesse Duarte, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, did go up as well and say that the resignation letter has been sent to the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, Ms. Susan Danji, who's the Speaker there at the Northwest Legislature in Mahikeng.
What did the journalists there talk about when, after that long-winded preamble, where he was really trying to sugarcoat this whole thing, and was part of the conversation maybe something like the fact that he could take his liberties because he felt very comfortable with both the Secretary General and the Deputy Secretary General, given their background, especially over the past few months. I mean, in the lead up to the ANC's elective conference in December and beyond.
Well, he would have felt very comfortable alongside Ace Makashule, the Secretary General, and Jesse Duarte, the DSG, and Pule Mabe, because they did not mince their words. They was part of the so-called notorious ANC Premiers League, which featured Mpumalanga, who's now basically gone to the Cyril Ramaphosa camp, Free State with Ace Makashule and Supra Mahumapelo in the Northwest. So he would have felt very comfortable with those particular individuals, because you've got to understand, Vuyo, that Supra Mahumapelo has in recent months said that there is seemingly a purge of those who supported Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma at the 54th National Conference, being purged by those who are supported now President of the ANC and of the country, President Cyril Ramaphosa. So it's rather interesting that the DSG and Ace Makashule quickly got up on stage and said, look, there is no purge. There was no outright winner at the 54th National Conference. Whether they like it or not, they are all working as a collective. Contrary to the words of Supra Mahumapelo, whom 2 weeks ago, when we were in Mahikeng, did say that there is seemingly this purge by those who supported President Cyril Ramaphosa going towards the 54th National Conference of the ANC, who are basically trying to claim their space not only in the African National Congress, but also in governance in all the provinces. You'd look at the recent cabinet reshuffle in the Eastern Cape, look at what's currently unfolding in provinces such as KwaZulu-Natal and the Northwest Province now, with basically Supra Mahumapelo having to resign as the Premier of the Northwest, basically clarifying this essence of the absence of presence which he spoke about. Basically, he now clarified this essence of absence of the presence.
Well, hence my question, because his whole preamble was his own appraisal of his own performance. In other words, saying, in spite of everything that you may have heard, I remain a guy who has delivered, I've done everything, even the corruption that everybody is talking about, I've actually been at the forefront of dealing with that corruption. Now, a question was asked there about whether he's going to get a whole golden handshake or some benefits are going or will be accruing to him. What was his answer to that question?
He basically did not answer that question. They sidestepped it. They did not answer it. But it brings about one question. When Castle Matale, the former Premier of Limpopo, when he resigned as the Premier of that province, did he receive any golden handshake, or did he just simply walk away after he was instructed by his organization, the ANC, to do so? I think perhaps it may be about time that we speak to him as well on how he handled his own resignation, comparing it to the resignation now of Supra Mahumapelo as the Premier of the Northwest Province, because it's quite clear that in the past month or so, there's been some resistance from his part to resign as Premier, failing attempting to clarify this essence of absence of the presence, which has now been cleared by the Secretary General of the ANC and partially cleared by himself when he placed himself on early retirement. So it's going to be interesting should he receive any golden handshake. We're not yet sure if this is if it's a scenario similar to that of Brian Molefe at Eskom, or this is a different scenario totally, but it's going to be interesting should he get or keep any of his government perks, because in my understanding, if you resign, you just walk away with your suitcase. You don't walk away with any briefcase or anything that's of financial benefit from the government.
Okay, very quickly, when are we expecting the ANC to announce the next Northwest Premier?
The ANC, the highest decision-making structure of the ANC, the National Executive Committee, appoints and fires premiers. So basically, we can expect an announcement from the Secretary General of the ANC should they have a press briefing this Sunday or next week Monday, because we understand that they are going into their ordinary National Executive Committee this weekend at the...
There's an NEC meeting this coming weekend.
There's an NEC meeting this weekend.
So in all likelihood, an announcement will be made Monday or thereabouts?
Yes, an announcement will be made most likely by Monday, but that's not just only the issue that's on the cards. We've been told by a number of sources within the National Executive Committee that it's not on the agenda yet about the discussion to disband the ANC PEC in the Northwest, but it may rise from the floor. We've seen in the past issues surrounding former President Jacob Zuma. They were never on the agenda, but they rose from the floor with people like Derek Honeycomb rising up and raising motions that he should step down as President of the Republic, even the likes of Dr. David Masondo, the new ANC NEC member who supported Derek Honeycomb's motion in the last motion that was passed against the president to step down as the president of the country. That's Jacob Zuma.
Okay, let's leave it there for now. Samkele, thanks very much.